From the latest cruise news and luxury resort openings to Disney updates, travel trends, and destinations around the world, this is the Elevated Escapes Report. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kristen. Each week, we'll bring you the stories, trends, and travel headlines that matter most to travelers looking for their next elevated escape. Let's get started.
Well, let's get started, Susie.
Okay.
My goal on one of these shows is to make you laugh.
Okay.
I think I've made you chuckle maybe a few times, but I want to try to make you laugh. Maybe when we're doing intro outros, maybe when you're in the middle of a news story, maybe when we're talking about a podcast topic.
Okay. Well, you realize that by giving me a heads up that you're going to try to do that, I'm going to try to foil your plans.
Okay. Well, see, I have high hopes.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
We've got some stuff to talk about. This is the week of the 29th. Is it June 29th?
It is.
The week of June 29th, we are rapidly approaching the holidays. We've got 4th of July on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be in the dog days of summer. And then we will have Labor Day. Kids will be back to school.
Wow. You're speeding this right along, aren't you?
Certainly am. I certainly am. Getting the kids back to school.
We don't have kids.
Many of our listeners do.
Okay.
And they are eagerly looking forward to that.
Most of them just got out of school.
They did.
So how do you know they're eagerly awaiting?
If you were a parent and you were staying at home with your weasels, wouldn't you want them to go back to school?
Not if I had great kids and I enjoyed spending time with them. But then again, my kids would be your kids, and so they'd probably be driving me nuts.
So there would be
being ready for them to go back to school.
If they took even 10% of my genes, you're saying that they would drive you nuts.
Probably.
Very fair. Very fair.
Probably true.
So what do we got going on this week?
So for those of you who may not know, but are familiar with PanAm, you are familiar with PanAm, yes?
Of course, PanAm. Was PanAm Lockerbie, Scotland?
I think they might have been.
Okay.
Yes. But they relaunched private jet excursions last year, and now they are expanding their offerings. They are planning a hotel in LA, an airport lounge in New York, and there is going to be a PanAm-inspired cruise as well, but they are launching PanAm Journeys.
PanAm Journeys, okay.
Yes. So they are luxury trips, multi-day private jet expeditions that will follow the routes that made PanAm synonymous with global travel.
PanAm was big, I recall, in New York, because they did have a do you remember the PanAm building in Manhattan?
I do not.
Okay, because you didn't go on that high school trip like I did.
Not.
So they had a PanAm building in Midtown Manhattan.
Okay.
So, but I know that they were a global airline. So what are some of their destinations going to be? Let's see if any of them are high on my list.
So the first one that is launching, it leaves on July 19th, I believe it says, is going to Africa.
Okay.
So it's called A Journey to Reimagine Africa. It will begin in the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. Private game drives, hot air balloon rides during the Great Migration, which is when all of the animals move across the plains. Will feature a private guided exploration of Victoria Falls, followed by safaris in Botswana's Okavango Delta and Linyanti Reserve. And the trip ends in South Africa with stays in Johannesburg, a 3-night journey aboard the Rovos Rail, and visits to Cape Town and the nearby winelands.
Okay, so Africa, it was never high on my list, but that itinerary sounds amazing.
Doesn't it sound great?
It sounds really good.
Yeah. The maximum number of guests on this trip, 42.
So keeping the crowd small, so it's going to be intimate. You're going to get to know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a positive on my list.
Yes. Their cruise partnership is with Holland America.
Okay,
and this is going to be, I believe it goes in October of 2027, a 28-day, 19-port cruise.
It's a lot of ports.
So it is a month-long voyage of heritage and horizon, tracing Pan Am's legendary clipper routes across the Caribbean and Latin America, reimagined at sea aboard the Zuiderdam. So I think that sounds pretty cool as well.
That's a lot of ports and a lot of days at sea. That's a perfect combination as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, leaves from Miami, Curacao, Belize,
2 places I haven't been to.
Colombia, Panama, Dominican Republic,
5,
Puerto Rico.
6.
It's a really cool itinerary. Bahamas, Jamaica, Virgin Islands, Antigua, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago,
high on your list.
Aruba, Costa Rica, Mexico.
So why are they putting their name on Holland America's brand? What did it get into that?
It doesn't say. At least I don't see the decision making behind why they decided to partner with Holland America, but
okay.
I think it's really cool.
I think we'll probably find out more to my question in the weeks and months ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, that's an itinerary that I would definitely be interested in. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So PanAm. Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, that is such a that's an old school OG airline, but
I remember as a kid when you would get the Sunday paper and you would go through the travel section, and PanAm would always have an ad, and it was always someplace like really cool.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, like I didn't even think about being able to travel there. Right?
Yeah,
cool for me.
Orlando. I was fine with Eastern Airlines nonstop to Orlando. Right. Correct.
Yeah, but I think that was back in the day when, we would fly PanAm to Japan or China or something. And I was like, whoa, you can go to China?
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of cool.
Yes, it is. But now with all the airline consolidation, we're down to just a few airlines. It was nice when we had Eastern and we had Continental and we had US, what was it, US West?
I think there was a US West.
There was a US West. I'm not going to go on and on, but you get the idea.
Well, but I don't know if you were paying attention yesterday. I was watching a YouTuber, and he was doing first class on all of the major US airlines to London. So back and forth.
Okay.
And there were basically 4.
Wow.
So Delta, American, United, and JetBlue.
JetBlue.
Mm-hmm. And they said that JetBlue is actually the best.
Really? Mm-hmm. I believe, am I wrong? Isn't Southwest going to get into the international space?
Southwest is doing some more international stuff, but I think it's more, right now at least, focused around the islands.
Okay.
I thought I saw something about them going somewhere, but I don't remember exactly where it was.
Okay.
So I don't want to give bad information.
Of course not.
Do you have any news?
I do have some news.
Okay.
I have some Disney news.
Oh.
And this is breaking actually as of a couple days ago.
Okay.
That the famous gingerbread house at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is no longer going to be showcased there.
The life-size gingerbread house.
The life-size.
Wow.
Gingerbread house. The one that's been there for years and years and years. Last year they didn't bring it in because they were remodeling the lobby and they introduced a new bar.
Right.
That's on that ground level of the Grand Lobby. They replaced the birdcage, for those of you familiar with the Grand Floridian, with a kind of a birdcage bar.
I think it's called the birdcage
bar. Yeah. So they put a little bar down there. They did not bring the gingerbread house back. And apparently they claimed themselves that they said last year that they were no longer going to bring it back. But people were under the assumption that they weren't bringing it back because of the renovations. So obviously everybody in the Disney community. They are up in arms. How dare they? Why would they do this? Blah, blah, blah.
Well, we approach it from a slightly different perspective.
We do.
Because we are Disney Vacation Club members and we own at the Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you maybe not familiar with the structure, there is a dedicated Disney Vacation Club building, but the lobby in the main hotel is very grand. I mean, it's multi-stories, gorgeously decorated domes in the ceiling. And a lot of people like to spend time there. They usually have a piano player in the evenings. Mm-hmm. Now they've got the bar, and it's just a really nice place to relax.
It is.
But because it's sort of a destination hotel, a lot of people will go for dinner. A lot of people will go to check out the lobby. And so it could get very crowded. And then the gingerbread house multiplied that exponentially. Mm-hmm. And it was a very cool concept.
It was very cool. Again, for us, it was a one and done. You actually bought that because they'll sell gingerbread pieces, and they'll have.
They had a shop set up in the back of the house,
so you could get different types of cookies and brownies and
ornaments
treats.
And knick-knacky things.
It was a one and done for us. You said the gingerbread wasn't that awful. Great. It was it was cool to see, mm-hmm. but it drove so much traffic from the locals in Orlando, from the people staying all over the place. People would be at the parks. Let's get on the monorail. Let's go to the Grand Floridian. And what was worse was that we couldn't even, if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, forget about getting on the monorail to go to the Magic Kingdom, because there were lines upon lines. So everybody's hating on Disney. How dare they? How dare they? From a consumer standpoint, I think it's a huge plus, because when I'm staying there, I want to enjoy my lobby. Mm-hmm. May that be foreign, but I want to be able to get a cup of coffee and sit there and listen to the piano in the lobby. It's the most
expensive hotel on property. Yeah. So, people are spending a significant amount of money to stay there and to enjoy those amenities. And if you can't do it, you're trying to sit there and listen to a piano player, and you have kids running around, or, a line that snakes around that, it just detracts from the ambiance. And
you'd have the line that you're to another line, getting your picture taken in front of the gingerbread house and the Christmas tree.
True.
So, I mean, it was a cluster. It was a lobby that I always loved to go to. And during the holidays, it was one that we almost tried to stay away from. Yeah. And that just, it was unfortunate.
Because it was so pretty.
Yeah. So last year when they had just finished a remodel, we were staying at Riviera. Kristen's mom came down for the week, and we spent 2 nights at Riviera. So we kind of resort hop. We went to a couple lobbies, checked out a few of the lobbies, and then we went over to the Grand Floridian. And it was what it should be at Christmas. We were just sitting there, mm-hmm. just chit-chatting and listening to the pianist play Christmas music. And it went back to that super chill vibe, which I'm looking forward to on every... Because whether or not we always go in December just to check out the lights, and whether we stay at the Grand Floridian in another resort, we'll always venture over to the Grand Floridian at Christmas just to check it out. So it's going to be nice.
Yeah. So we're in the minority, is what you're saying.
No, actually, if you read a lot of the posts on Facebook and Instagram, there's a lot of people who are pro getting rid of it. Okay. Yeah, for the same reasons that we gave, just to, it took away from the lobby atmosphere. People who are staying there 100%.
Nice.
Okay, that's my news story. We'll bounce that back over to you.
Okay. There is a brand new expedition cruise line launching called Solar, and it is co-founded by the first female Arctic captain, which I think is pretty cool. It is set to launch in January of 2027.
Okay.
And its first ship is called the Captain Arctic.
The Captain Arctic?
Yes.
So I'm going to assume by the name they're going to be a Mediterranean and Caribbean
yeah.
line?
Yeah.
Okay.
This ship is significant because it is the first solar-powered expedition ship.
Okay.
And it is extremely small. 36 passengers, 24 crew. So this is Unique in that it allows everybody on the ship to go ashore for the expeditions at once, which is really cool. And actually, I lied. It is a wind and solar powered hybrid, which makes it almost emission free. So, for those who are concerned about climate change and the changing face of the Arctic, this is very low carbon footprint, no carbon footprint. I think it is going to be more luxurious than you would maybe expect from an expedition centric ship, especially on a smaller level. The private accommodations have multiple portholes. They have solar powered showers. Their public spaces have a forward facing observation lounge. They have a gym, a sauna, a science lab, and the onboard dining is going to be French based with international flair and Nordic touches.
Right up your alley.
Yep, absolutely. Speakeasy-esque cocktails, Northern Lights illuminated barbecue, freshly caught salmon, sushi, gravlax. And then they are offering expedition gear through Jaws and Helly Hansen or Valon. I'm not familiar with that brand. They have collaborations with other oceanic conservationist lines and citizen science initiatives. So very green. Zodiacs, kayaks, paddles, skis, snowshoes, and snorkeling gear are all included in the expedition equipment. And the first itinerary is in Norway.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be a really cool option. And I think a lot of people are really going to be excited about this.
It's going to be super popular.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I do think.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that small group,
yep.
I mean, that's a crazy number.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the smallest ones we've seen have been like around 100 people.
Yeah. It's going to
36 people.
It's going to create ridiculous demand.
Yeah.
With that few people being on board.
So, and it says the vision is small vessel equals more outdoor adventures, more human connections, and more thrills. And they're looking at it. They said, don't think of it as a floating hotel. It's a luxury base camp.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to see how this goes. And I hope they do really well because it's a really cool concept.
It's a great concept. And it's funny because as you see these cruise ships getting bigger and bigger, you're seeing other lines being a little bit more intimate. It's almost like there's no in between.
Right.
People want the mass and then people want the really small, intimate river cruises and what you were just talking about just a second ago.
So if you're interested, Selar, SELAR, which I believe means seal in Norwegian. So should be cool. Would you do that? Or is it too small for you?
I'd do that. No, I'd do that. There's so much I want to do. I mean, our regular podcast this week, we're going to be talking about, we were at a trade show meeting with a bunch of our vendors up in Orlando. There's just so many cool things that not many people know about. And, you form this opinion of, I just want to do X, Y, and Z. And then you're introduced to all of these other things. And we're going to talk, like I said, you'll hear this on Thursday on our regular podcast, but you're going to hear about just some really cool things, some different itineraries and what have you. So,
well, I think unless you are really, really into travel, what your family and friends have done, know what you personally have done, and you know what's marketed.
Yeah.
So, there are a million different cruise lines out there that I had never heard of until we got into this industry. So, and just because, some of them spend their money on marketing doesn't necessarily mean they have the best product.
That's right.
So there might be a line out there that is the best match for you and you don't know they exist.
And that's our job to find
them
and bring them to you.
Right.
So I don't have much else to add, do you?
I do not.
All right. That's going to wrap up this week's travel stories on the Elevated Escapes report. We'll be back next week with the latest travel trends from around the globe. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for making us part of your travel journey. Safe travels.